Greetings from the farm. Hope you're doing well. I've been at the farm the whole day, and as I was heading out, I thought I'd take a quick stop and share with you some observations about this particular crop of soya beans that we have here at Kennedy. Now, there's a bit of a backstory. The backstory is that this land has been heavily farmed over the years, and this is what we call soil degradation. And we're going to take a quick look at how the soya beans that was planted here is doing in various parts of the field itself. All right, stay with us. Gonna start by walking across over to the crop poster, which is over in that corner over there. Let's get over there. So I was saying a few seconds ago that this field has been heavily farmed over the years by the people that were here previously, and here in Africa, one of our biggest challenges is things like looking after the soil, and it hasn't exactly been a great success. So when we took over this plot last year, our first decision was, what are we going to plant here? And we decided when rain season comes, we're going to be able to put some legumes. As you know, here on our farm, we always open up the farm, the new pieces of land, with a legume which is meant to add nitrogen, and it's been quite successful. We've had amazing progress and successes with a lot of our things. This is some of the maize that's from our neighbor here, and this is Kennedy behind me here. So starting with the crop poster, as ever, we see that this is a soybeans Afro-Seed Lukanga early maturity variety, and that was planted just before Christmas 2020. So I was saying harvest, we divided it into two blocks. This first block here, this way, is basically sandy and it's been quite challenged. And the other block over there, you can see, look at that beautiful, deep, dark green. That's been a very successful area. A little bit more history, I can even take you back the other year when we cleared this land a little bit after we got it, and then we brought in a TLB, and there was an anthill. There was an anthill right over there. Two anthills, I think, or three, I can't remember. And then we moved the stuff over to this side, and that's what we've been doing, the block making. So since we planted this particular crop of soya beans here on Kennedy, we noticed the challenges with the soil, and these things were just not moving well from early on. And we've tried a couple of things to spray and to treat the soil and improve. And let's take a very quick look back at some of the things that have been done over the last few weeks to try and help the situation as it is.
Kennedy, block 3. Stew shamba, soya beans. Kennedy basilizisa block, pushing a block cha springboard matola.
Akamlipa Kennedy kuejia gate side in Soya beans. Soya beans ya mela inangu na malines, I think aone kama lakini angu karibu takenya kitu chokerere nikamvula wote pushing and choke. But yambili yachoka na malaini hayaone kama one.
Paka fertilizer ku Kennedy Soya mix ya mwifa kama lines momeno mkwa gati yakula tembekezeko pang'ono.
Ati telepo Kennedy ku block 80 Tipa line. We are rhyming here to Kennedy. Patayamba ku spraying ku Kennedy. This spraying Soya is Soya on.
Wametina cha lime Kennedy. At least ya Kambonekako ka turnage kaba greenish. Kambonekako ka greenish manje. Kaja ka yellow. Kaoneka kafako. Kambonekako ka green. Pa Kennedy pamene acha visiting na pevi nioneko chito ingafunike apa naona kuti tingapushingeko razor gozi maningi naona mabod leaves yapaka maningi soya mabod leaves hivi ngashite ataki soya beans. So muno tizayuzingamo razor na checking am storeroom na muri 3 packets. So hapa zafuna tupange plan ya kuti bachayemo razor tipayeko mawidzi mulibe ambili ni board leaf. So zafuna tichayeko razor tiapayeko na razor. Yeve soya beans goneka bwino.
Hapa tulipa Kennedy ticha ya herbicide tisebenzesa leza yama so ticha ya ma blood leaves pa Kennedy musa beans tisebenzesa leza.
So after all of that, here's where we are. Taking a very quick look, you can see the lines of soybeans as they were planted, 60 centimeters. One thing let's talk about is the soil. This is sand. This is actual building sand. We build buildings with the sand. We just come and dig it out of the ground. It's quite interesting. Sand has got its pluses and minuses for various crops. Here we are trying to put a legume on it so that it actually adds a little bit of nitrogen, but we're going to have to put in some serious organic content in here. So if we're going to plant anything else in here later on in the year, then we're going to have to come and put maybe things like chicken manure or some other animal manure in there. Looking at the different types and growth of the different soybean plants that we have. Here we have some little ones in this line. This was particularly poor. This particular line, here we go. And here's your little baby. Here is one, okay, with an insect on it. Hello, insect person. Who are you and what do you want? Bugger off. And it's just starting to flower. Some of the others have grown a little bit more mature and they've already flowered and we're getting a few pods. So here are some of the soybean pods that are growing here. I love soybeans. It's the strangest looking thing. The pods have got this hairy thing going on. As you know on this channel, I don't really do a lot of that technical farmer stuff. So the field itself, as you can see, of this soya is pretty varied. I think where there were little clumps of nutrients, the crops grew well. There was an anthill here, and you can still see some of the ants have come through. So we're gonna have to come through and hit it with some horrible insecticide, as we do. Particularly interesting specimen here, which has got a lot of flowers. Look at that, beautiful purple flowers there, and these should be podding in a few days, and others have already podded. Yes, beautiful pods on this particular one, and a few more successful ones around the area of this anthill. It's been our first year to plant soybeans, so a lot of lessons, and it's obviously, quite interesting. But soybeans is a crop that is commercially viable, because we use soybeans for oil, for food, for human food, as well as animal food. And it is wonderful because it is a legume that actually adds nitrogen into the soil, and then you can then benefit from that for later. This particular field, Kennedy, is earmarked for later in the year when we start planting more of the onions. As you know, onion we start planting around February, so we've already got some onion up at Dubai on the other side of the farm, and this one should be coming in a little bit later. Would have to wait, of course, until after the soybeans has matured and come out. Another little guy with a few good pods there. I think we're happy with what we're seeing here. But this is all like looking, you have to find it. It's not like what we're seeing over there. Let's cross over this little road here. We always leave these 5 to 10 meter boundaries in our fields, in between our blocks, just to sort of help out. Hold on, before I go, let's have a look at one of the other more successful ones. So you can see in the background there, just sparse, see yosanka, and then here on the end you have 2 or 3 very, very successful ones. Look at these pods, oh my word, look at that, beautiful. And the beans are forming in there, and things are looking good. Things are looking very, very good for this particular one. So there may not be a huge yield out of this particular Kennedy field, but farming is a long-term project, and we should be getting a little bit of something from it later, especially as we bring in other crops. So now I'm going to cross over to this side, block B, and oh yeah, look at that. It is happening, vichitika. All right. So this morning the team was in here, and they had already started coming through, and they were cultivating. Now, cultivating is an interesting term, which I have now come to learn as my farming journey continues. It literally means taking care of the crops and putting, we call it kupasa doti. Basically, we dig out the ground, and then we weed, and then we sort of take care of it. And in our case, at our level of the farm, it's done manually. So taking a look at what we mean when we say cultivating, the team was actually in here with the hose, actually sort of redefining the lines, killing off a lot of the weeds that were, in between the rows, as well as in between the plants. So you can see some of the weed debris. We tend to leave it here, and then it decomposes, and it adds even more of nutrients into the soil. So walking deeper and deeper into that forest of soybeans that you see over there, this seems to be where the other anthill, the bigger anthill was. You can see with a raised sort of profile. And I walked down the row, and you can see we've got some good flowers going on, as well as some bean pods that are being actually created already. We're at the end of February, and this is an early maturing variety, the Kanga. So we should be on course. The rainfall's been reasonable. That Shibuku bottle was not planted. It was somehow left behind. I feel like an architect or an archaeologist, sorry, find it. And here we have the Shibuku bottle that human beings in the 20th and 21st century used to ingest a shaken beer. To be honest, I'm intimidated coming into this. I'm not one for not the bravest of people. You know, I do worry about things where I can't see the ground. So here is a very successful area of this field. I need to get closer in, and it's actually hard to see where the pods are, but yeah, suffice to say we're enjoying. This is about almost a meter high, this particular one. It has grown well in this particular area. As you can see from my knees here, I'm a semi-average height, not short, not tall, just okay. My son is taller than me, at the age of 50. We're all taller than our dads. That's the plan. Continuing to look through here, this field was planted quite extensively with maize, monoculture. So it's just been maize for years and years and years. And now that we've taken it over, we're trying to do some different things to it. So we'll be coming in with some onion later, as I was saying. Oh, here's an excellent example of soybean pods. Pod formation, as we call it. Most of farming is you start with nature and you basically control nature. What do we want from nature? We have a plant that wants to reproduce. Reproduction in such types of plants is done through flowers, sexual reproduction, as you may have learned back in biology or agri years and years and years ago. And then the flower is pollinated and we come to the seed pod. As human beings, we tend to eat the seed pod. That's what we actually want. So here is a beautiful soybean plant with the pods forming. Some a little bit more advanced than others, and others are just literally forming from there. That's block A over there. Block B has got some good growth, and I cross over into block C and we see more and more of the challenges. So here we are on the Mondo Farms channel. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the stage where I ask you to like the video if you like what you're seeing. We do all sorts of farming stuff here, showing you what we get up to here at Mondo Farms' Winterthorn farm on the outskirts of Chongwe. You can comment below, tell us a little bit more about your experiences, or ask us some questions that we try and get to as quickly as we can. And you can also subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel means that YouTube will let you know when a new video comes up, which is about every week to 10 days or so. We do have a day job, but we will try and push out some videos of different nature to you as quickly as we can. The other thing you can do is to share the video with other people that have got an interest in farms and farming, or Zambia and Zambian farming, or whatever subgenre you want to define it as. People want to know more, for example, about soybean planting, share them this video. If you want to know about onion farming, share them some of our other videos. If you want to know about land clearing, share them some of the other ones. We have all sorts going on here at Mondo Farms. So the final block that we look at today here at Kennedy is this particular block C, which has got a bit of both. If you remember, in block A, it had very, very weak growth with very, very sandy soil. Block B, this one, had a little bit much stronger growth with some beautiful pods that we were seeing. Very high, tall, green, nutritious soya. And the last final block here at the end of the triangle is Kennedy. And Kennedy, okay, my issues. We haven't done the cultivation here. We had to take the team that was working in here, and at lunchtime, that's when we saw the challenge that we had at with the onion nursery. We had to move them. But look, here we are in the middle of this, and nothing much has been able to grow in this particular place. We've got this clay soil here that's from the old anthill. This is literally the old anthill, and it forms a cake when it dries. It's sort of muddy, and so there's not a lot of nutrient content in the soil, and it was hard, I think, even for the seeds to come out when they were planted way back in Christmas time. So it is a big challenge, but not that bad. There's a little bit of success. All these flowers you see here, these purple flowers, are going to be pollinated, and then there's going to be soybean pods. So let us find a pod. Looking for a pod. So we're looking for a pod. This is not a soybean. This thing in the middle, it is an imposter, a weed, and it shall be dealt with. No, we're not calling in the Anti-Corruption Commission or the CCPC or the ERB or any of the other letters of the alphabet that, you know, are there to help us. No, we're going to weed it manually on camera. Now, I've had some adventures with weeding manually on camera, and it hasn't always gone well, and this particular one looks quite intimidating. So I'm gonna let's have a look from the bottom to the top. I'm going to give it a good firm grasp, I'm going to give it a pull, and that's what happens. Okay, I put that over there, I go back in and I grasp even better and stronger, brace at the knees, and that's what happens again. So the problem with weeding like this is we haven't sorted out the problem. The problem is in the roots. We need to get the roots. Yeah, so at least I think we're able to get rid of most of it as it was. So the team that was cultivating in Block B this morning will be coming back in on Monday, today being Sunday, and we'll be coming back in a couple of days to finish cultivating here, Block C, as well as, of course, Block A. No, I misspoke. They did actually start Block C, and we can see here actually very clearly what they were doing as they were cultivating. Now, in our local, one of our local languages in Nyanja, we say kupasa doti. So this is what we call husbanding, crop husbandry, literally looking after a crop. We want it to grow well, to be protected from all the dangers and threats, and to come in and be taken care of. So you can see the 60 centimeter spacings that we did our row spacings here, and then you can see how each of these ridges is being formed, and in between they kill off with the hose, they take off all of the weeds that they find, and then they basically build up the soils here, and that's what we call cultivating. Other cultures, other farmers, other ways might do a different form of cultivation, but basically that's what we do here. So as a good example, on this row, this was the last row that they reached, this particular one, and then on this side they didn't reach before lunch, and they'll be coming in here, probably starting from right here, and you can see the tomato aspects that they'll be looking for as they come in on Monday. One of them would be this bunch of grass here. Oh, that was easy. Ooh, I'm a hero. Okay, and then a little bit more here, and yeah. So weeds are all plants that are growing in the wrong place. Remember that sometimes a a thing that you actually eat or you want in one place could be a weed to someone else. So, like for example, here's something that I'm sure will be a little bit tougher to pull out. Let's see. Oh, I got beautiful root structure, no more growth. So generally quite happy. Mixed results here at our soybean on Kennedy field. First year that we've done it, very poor soil that we've had. We've put some micronized lime on it thanks to ETG. We've sprayed it with plant catalyst. We've sprayed it with soya oomph. We've basically done what we could for this particular crop and looked after it, and we've now reached a stage whereby what's going to grow has grown, and then we've reached the early stage of podding, and over the next few weeks, maybe into a month, we'll be seeing the pods come, and then the crop is going to turn brown. Give it a few more weeks-ish, months-ish, yeah. We're still there, so around about April-ish we should be starting to take out some of these crops. It is an early maturing variety. And then after that, here at Kennedy Field, one day you'll see me come back and share with you a different crop, probably onion in some of the areas that we'll be planting later on, because as you know, onion is one of our main crops that we do, especially during the winter. And then also before that, as I said earlier, we're gonna have to put in a lot of organic material and mix up the soil, pass through a couple of times with the tractor. You know, that's the thing. The ups and downs of farming. Soybeans is a crop that I really particularly enjoy growing, and I hope one day soon I enjoy selling as well, so we can make some money. We don't farm for fun, we farm to make money. Heading back to the car now. I hope you've enjoyed a very quick visit that we did to the soybeans crop here at Kennedy, and saw some of the ups and downs of planting soybeans on land that has been heavily farmed over the years with monoculture, and now we've come in to add it to some of our fields of the farm, and we're going to do some different stuff with it. And of course, we used soybeans here, and as you can see, if I pan around from block C, block B, and poorly to block A there, the differences that we're seeing with the crops and everything. So here on the Mondo Farms channel, we really like your support. I always say that thumbs up button is for if you click the thumbs up if you like the video, which really helps us with the Google algorithm. Comment in the comments below, tell us a little bit more about your experiences with what we're showing you, and also ask us some questions. Nothing too technical, please. I'm not a farmer. I'm a guy who's really getting into farming towards the latter stages of my working career. Also, you can share the video with other people that are into the same thing, so that they may also see what we're trying to do here and maybe learn one or two things, maybe comment and think. And also you can subscribe to the channel here on the Mondo Farms channel. We do like to share our Zambian farming journey, and we do shoot out a video at least every sort of week to 10 days or so. Thank you very much for joining us here on the channel. My name is Chisha Volotia, and it's always a pleasure to have you with us. You take care. Bye-bye. Goodbye.